Hello, everybody. Welcome to our October monthly product release webinar. We have a full gamut of things to share with you today. We have quite a few people that have already joined us, which is so exciting. We're gonna give it just maybe 1 or 2 minutes as we're just gonna let other people kind of join. But we have a lot to talk through today. There's a lot of new releases and everything that's in the system. As we're getting started, let's do a fall question. I'm always excited to get people talking. So what is everybody excited about for fall? Are you feeling fall yet? Where we are in St. Louis, it just now is starting to feel like fall. So maybe you guys are in one of those places with never-ending summer. But anybody else here, what are you excited about for fall to kind of see come to pass? It's finally fall now. What about you, Brooklyn? What do you think? What are you excited for fall? You feel like a fall person to me.
I love fall. Yes. Probably going to a pumpkin patch. I always like that. Although I will say before living in St. Louis, I never had this problem, but the squirrels, they love my pumpkins. I set them out on the front porch and the squirrels are like, yeah, buffet time. So they don't last too long, but I like the look of them with the mums. So pretty. So yeah, love fall, sweatshirt weather. As Shana mentioned, it's been like a never-ending summer here, so it doesn't quite feel like fall until like this week. It's been still in the 80s and 90s, but ready for the cooler weather.
Yeah, Kirsten, I think you said the same. It is still feeling like still feeling too hot right now with that. Sheila, it sounds like going to Paris. You're going to Paris? What?
Wow.
That sounds awesome. That's my kind of fall. Taking a trip somewhere. That sounds super fun. Oh gosh. Well, welcome. We'll go ahead and get started. If you do have some things that you're excited about for fall, I'd love to hear it. I'm also curious, Brooklyn, let me ask you this. Are you a pumpkin spice person? Do you like pumpkin spice?
A little bit.
Are you
I'm
in
more of a like an apple person for the fall, like
Okay.
apple cider, apple pie,
Yeah.
rather than pumpkin, but
Pumpkin. Yeah.
I will drink it.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
pumpkin spice, I like coffee. Those are always good.
Pumpkin spice pancakes. Okay, we've got
Oh
Amy up
wow. Okay,
here.
I gotta try those.
I think I would be here for the pumpkin spice pancakes. Yeah. I feel like it's a little overwhelming with the pumpkin spice these days. Pumpkin ravioli. Where
Wow. I'm getting hungry.
pumpkin ravioli? I don't know if I've ever heard of that one before either. Oh gosh, yeah. I can do some pumpkin spice, but I feel like it's a lot, in the that sounds delicious. Okay, well, we're going to get started. So we do, like I think Brooklyn said, I don't know if she said this now or before we got on here, but we do have quite a lot of things that we're going to walk through together. Um, I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but we're sure feeling it. But it just seems like we are just really ramping up. Stuff is getting released more and more and more and more and faster and faster and faster. Brooklyn is very much in on the product side. So Brooklyn works on the product side of the software. She has a big part in taking that feedback that people submit, and she kind of compacts those together into building different features based on feedback that people give. So she really is the genius behind all of the new releases and things that are happening, and it really does feel like, I know every month we say that there's a lot, but it's a lot even more every single month. So which is awesome. We love that. Brooklyn, I don't know if you want to go ahead and send out the product feedback link again. We'll go ahead and send that out at the beginning.
Sure, yeah, I'll grab
When
it
I
right
when I
quick.
were talking about product feedback, things that you can do, this does come from all of our customers. So we have a link where you can go in and you can submit any sort of features that you would like to see or updates maybe to features that you would like to see in the system. Submit away. You can even go in and upvote what other people are saying. Something that is super great about that link is that whenever we do release that, we'll attach all of that feedback to a certain feature, and then whenever we release that feature, you will get an alert. So if you logged in to put your stuff there, you will get an alert saying, hey, heads up, this feature was released so that you can go in and find it in the system. So, yeah, be sure to utilize that. I feel like we send it out all the time, but utilize that. Um, in here. As we're going today, you can feel free to throw some questions into the Q&A. I will kind of, for the chat, it's not the best place for questions. Q&A really is the best place for questions because then we can kind of like put them together into a certain flow. It helps us kind of manage the questions as they're kind of coming through. So feel free to throw questions into Q&A as we're walking through. We'll answer some of that. We'll try to answer them as we go through if we can. Other stuff that we'll push towards the end. But after our call today, you will get a follow up email with the recording. It might actually be tomorrow, but you'll get a follow up email with the recording if you want to keep that and share that with their team. But if you do have a feature that you love while we're talking about it, please do let us know. We love sharing that with our team. Like I said, Brooklyn has a big hand in putting those pieces together. And so we share it with our developers, we share with all the people that's on the back of house. So let us know if there's something that you're super excited about. We always love to hear that today. So Brooklyn is actually going to start us off. If you want to go ahead and share your screen, Brooklyn.
Yeah, let's get started. Let me find the button. I have Zoom too small. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Wonder, kind of in the way. Can you guys see the Zoom? Maybe I can try to
No, just
bring
you.
that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna see if I can pull this. Is it sharing my?
Yeah, we can see it says Curate events. You've got
Okay,
Melanie Jacobs in the Curate portal.
perfect. Okay, just want to make sure. Alrighty. Okay, so we're gonna get started. The first thing that we're gonna cover is gonna be the portal name update. It's something that came from feedback, like Shannon mentioned. We really do try our very best to process all the insights that are being sent in to us to review and to see what kind of enhancements we can make to make things easier. So this actually ties in also to the request of wanting like a header name on the download of the portal. So it kind of goes two together. But as you might remember, or as it currently or used to work, is each of these tabs, if you like to have a lot of tabs open, like myself, the tabs will just say Curate Portal. But this update here, when you're on your main events list, if we go to let's say this one here with Melanie Jacobs Knox Creek Farm, if I want to open this slide out, there is now an input here for portal name. So it's right under the portal expiration. You can just click right here and you can add whatever you'd like, but do keep in mind that this is client facing. So if your all's customers were to download the portal, this is what would show there. So it's just a tool to allow you. So like maybe this one we want to say, this is Melanie's wedding day. We could call it something different. You know, a lot of times folks might want a specific way that they name their events internally, and this is a way to name it externally. So Melanie's wedding day, we can say that this is at Knox Creek Farms. And then I can save this. And then what that will do is when I go into this event and I were to either download the PDF here, it will have that header name on. We kept it similar to Classic. There's usually typically an aesthetic to this first page. So that header will populate onto with a date and page number on the additional pages. And then what we have here too is when you share this portal, and let me grab the link and I'll just paste it here. It'll say Melanie's wedding day up at the top versus how it previously would just say Curate Portal. Like on this other event, this one does not have a portal name, so that's why it's not pulling through. So that's an update there that kind of ties into two different features. So utilize that if you want your browser tabs to have a specific name or for that to go to the download. And then let's see, our next feature, I'm going to jump out of this event and I'm going to go over into our inquiries. So we're going to go into inquiries here. And then this was a request of being able to visualize the tags. So you now have the option if you all like to utilize tags for your forms or your inquiries. You can click our little tag icon. So similar functionality to event list. You just click this little button and then it'll populate any tags you might have on these inquiries to help you stay a bit more organized here. So you can now visualize those on this view. And then highly requested, a lot of y'all will be excited about this one. But we have the option now to see your inquiry photos in the email. So if you're utilizing on your forms the option for your leads or customers to submit images to you within that form, it'll pull through here. So this is just a fake form that I filled out. But you'll now see those pictures in the email. So you can visualize what they're sending over to you without having to go directly into the app. So prior, it would just say that there were images attached, but now those photos are coming through in the email for you to see in your inbox. And then there's just a few more things before I pass it off to Shannon. We're going to jump into an event now. Let me go into, I'll just go into this one. Alrighty. So an update that we've made here within the workroom itself, there's a few I'm going to touch on regarding this portal tab up at the top. So the first one that I want to mention is that we now have an extra option for content. It's called a single image. So if you'd like to add it, you can go to add content and then you'll find it down at the bottom. It's called single image, and then you can add that to your proposal. This was also based off customer feedback. Sometimes folks didn't want an entire mood board. They just wanted to attach some specific image to their proposal. And so this allows you, here's an example. I just uploaded this prior to the webinar. So this is what it looks like when you add it in. And then here's what it looks like if without an image. So you can click in here to select this. So if we want to add, I'll add this picture here. It's just a one image slot. It'll just show the picture nice and big for you. And of course, you can come in if you'd like to change out that title. If you want to name this something unique. So we could say this is like table design. It'll pull through there as well. And then if you don't want a header at all, you can toggle that off. And then it would just only be an image space. So just an update there as far as what you can now add as a visual update to your portal. Another update is that you can now click into edit your line items. So if you haven't utilized this yet, it's just a way to kind of access this without having to go to your orders tab specifically. So once you're on your portal tab, if you're viewing your order details and you realize, as you're reviewing it all, you need to make a quick edit, you can now click this pencil and it'll load out the same slide out that you would have of your line items on the orders tab. And this is going to give you access to edit any of these item details or your recipe on this particular line item or multiple recipes. And it's just going to pop out there. And then that would reflect any changes that you're making on the portal tab, of course, throughout the line item where it's at in your orders or throughout the event itself. So just an easier way to access that within this view without having to go through so many other views. And then we also made another update to the portal here, portal tab. You now have clickable links of your contacts. So, or I guess I should say clickable email links. So if they have an email attached here, you can now click it when you're in the workroom. And then you'll have to set this up, of course, with your email on your computer. But when you click it, I have my email inbox set up on my MacBook. So when I click this, it just automatically loads that contact into who I want to send this email to. And then I can create an email from here and directly contact them without having to copy and paste that email. Alrighty. And then let's see if there's any other, oh yeah, a few more around photos. So you might have caught me doing this actually when I was doing the single image. So I guess I should have called it out there. But We have a new update that a lot of folks will probably enjoy. Let me just add, it can go on a cover mood board. I'll just add this inspiration board down to the bottom. So when you add any kind of visual like image spots here, you can now directly, when you hit select, this saves a few steps. It prior would open up the slide out and then you'd have to select the photo that way. But now when you go into hit select of these image kind of like drop zones, it'll just automatically populate your media library. And this is going to allow you to select that image. And then as you add it, it'll go directly into that spot. So if I want to then select one to go down here, it'll load it in the bottom section. So that's just a quicker way to kind of add those images into where you want them to go. And then another quick way, if you change your mind and you don't like that picture, we now have a visible kind of when you hover over these images, there's going to be a little X in the corner. And this does apply to the mood boards or your covers. But you can now just quickly click out of them and you can remove them. You don't have to go again to that slide out to remove the photo. You can just X out of them and it'll take them away. So just some quick enhancements there to speed up processes with adding the photos or removing them. And then with the media library itself, you can now also add, if we click these little three dots and you go to preview, you will now have the option to add a description. I know this was like highly requested from a lot of folks to be able to add a description, not just only a title. So this is something that you can now add here. So we could say like fall wedding, we could say table design, candles, florals, whatever you like to say. And then I'll just say fall wedding, let's say October. And so you can call this anything you want with your descriptions. And then an enhancement with this as well is that we can now search those descriptions. And so if you want to be able to quickly find this, again, we called it fall wedding, but if we want to, let me refresh my memory of what I'd said down here. We said candles. So if I type in candles, it'll show up. So you can add descriptions and then it's going to search across both title and description in your media library so that you can find things faster. And then I think that covers it on my end before I pass it back to you, Shannon. Sorry. I know I had quite a lot to cover there.
Yeah, it
I know
was.
Shannon has some things to cover too. We're trying to pack in all the exciting updates for you guys this month. Because like
Oh,
Shannon
yeah.
mentioned, we've been kind of adding lots of updates, processing lots of your all's feedback. So I'll pass it on to Shannon. It looks like she has a few more updates around the portal and the workroom. And then I'll hop back on here shortly.
Okay. Okay, so I saw that we had a couple of questions come in. One for Sheila and then one from um, Amy. And so we will talk about both of those things in my section, actually. So I'll take care of those ones. Now I'm trying to pull them up again and I can't. It's struggling to find them again once I go full screen. So let me share my screen. I've got quite a few tabs. If you know me, you know I like tabs. So I've got quite a few tabs pulled up here for things that we're going to look at together. So I'm going to start in this event right here. Um, find my list again. Okay, we are going to start. The first thing that I want to do is it was great feedback. This one was a great feedback. I was so excited to kind of see that kind of come through. If I go down here to portal, one piece of feedback that we got is there are several places in the system where you can add things into your recipes. One particular piece of feedback that we had is that you want to import from catalog everywhere that you have a recipe available. And now you do have that capability. So I'm going to click on this little pencil icon right here. And if say that you do like to work in the portal, you like to make those changes from here, now you do have that button to import from catalog right here. Additionally, same on the orders tab. So at that same little slide out that we're on, you have that capability now to go over here and import that from the portal tab over here. Um, uh, You can also see it on the uh yeah, you can just pull it in from the catalog right there, import from that. The other one that we have is now this ability to create and edit components while you're in there. So I can do it from here. I actually was pulling up one. Hmm, I think it was this one, this linens and decor actually that I was working on before. If I go in here, if I do this from recipes, which you can do this anywhere, you can do it in the recipes tab, you can do it in the portal, you can do it anywhere, just like what we were talking about. But if I click here where it says add component, I know that this one is going to include these black polyester linen with the burlap runnels, the candle centerpieces, the farm tables, and all of those pieces that kind of go in there. We also have some pieces that go into the recipe that's here. So if I just want to add a component or something like that, maybe I want to add like burgundy roses, whatever you want to add in there, any sort of items or anything that we may want to add, but I'm just going to choose burgundy roses. If I click add new item, you're now going to get, instead of that pop up, you are going to have this slide out on the side where you can choose what type of item do I want to choose. I'm actually going to create one for the rentals too, but you can choose for component. You can choose what category that you want it to be. I want it to be floral. I measure it in quantities, any sort of notes. And then if you have branches, you can choose what branches do I want to add them to. And then how do I buy this one? So maybe I buy this in 24 uh, stems per bunch, for example, here. And then I say, what's the cost? And I'm just making something up here. One update, though, that I think a lot of people will be excited about, we've had a lot of people ask us about this, is you do now have the ability to add a photo right here whenever you are creating that component, which is exciting. You don't have to go back to the components tab anymore to add that photo of that item. You could just do it right away whenever you're building that item. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now it added that right there into my proposal right there. So you're going to see that in there. The other one that we had, so I wanted to do black uh, linen, black linens, and we're going to do like 108-inch. So obviously I don't have those, so I'm going to add that in there, and I'm actually going to add it as a rental item. You're going to see that in there. It allows you to put the location, like generally where does your team have that one. You can search rental. I want them both. You may have a reason for them to have a different category if they're a component or a product, but I like them both to be rentals. And then for this item, it's $11 a piece. Um, this is how much I paid. So I'm going to say I did $6. And then we're going to say that I have 25 in inventory. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click save on that guy. All right. And then maybe I need, you know, however many I have on the table already here. I just want one per table. So now you just have that quick add where you can quickly add rentals if you have the rentals inventory add-on, or if you want to add items just directly right in there and add the photos right in the moment that you need to, instead of having to navigate away in order to take care of that. So all of that will be there. The other new thing, and this is in regards to rentals, that rental inventory add-on, you now have the ability to have a rentals tab on here. So it is kind of similar to the components tab right here, where you have this ability to see the breakdown of wherever these items are. You can see the leftovers over here. So that can be really helpful as you're working in there. Who has 98 leftover Krispy Kreme donuts? Not in my house. There is not 98 leftover Krispy Kreme donuts. Is that even right? I don't think so. But for the rentals tab right now, you are able to see exactly where they are associated with them. This actually is going to be a foundational piece. So we just got the basic. If you know anything about how we develop, we build in phases. So we're going to build and release as small as possible, and then we're going to layer on top of that. So this is a phase leading into something else, so you can quickly see, okay, what's all of the rentals that I have in this event, but you're going to see some more functionality pop up in this rentals tab right here. Um, the other thing that to look at is the timeline section. So we've been talking about it for a little while, but now you can manage your timelines, all of your timelines, here in this timelines tab here. So if I go down here, you can see that I've got these ones that are going to be customer facing, these ones that is just going to be for me and my team. So this one is to be finalized decor, finalize the menu, order all of the supplies that we need, and then for a post-event review following the event, the Monday following the event, how did our team do? How did everything go? That's just going to be for our team. If you choose that they're customer facing, they will show down here in the portal at the bottom. So if I click on the event timeline, they will show that here. One thing that is great, and I didn't include it in my example, is the ability to put addresses on here. Sometimes in this case, we don't need an address necessarily, but maybe you do want an address. Say that if you're saying at this day, on this time, we need to deliver all of this stuff to this place, you can throw an address on there so that that would be visible whenever you're going for your team, because these will show up on your prints as well, which we will look at in just a moment. Okay. The other thing that is new, so this goes to is talk to Sheila's question when she was asking about the page breaks and the spacing on the PDF. So I did go in here and I downloaded the PDF. So one update on here is now we did it. I think there probably will be more changes here, but we did try to make it to where there wasn't so much empty space. Maybe this is a bad example here, but we tried to not make it so much empty space on here, kind of tried to make it a little bit more succinct for your reporting. It kind of depends on the kind of containers that you're using, the things that are on your proposal for what that spacing will look like, but we tried to make it kind of reduce some of that white space that's on there. So Sheila, I think that we did take care of that particular thing that you asked about the front page and then the details on the next page. I think that we did take care of that particular piece, but you're going to see that we're going to hopefully reduce this a little bit more on there as well. The other thing that's updated on the PDFs, I can see that we've got the date and a page number. Highly requested. Right now we've got a date and a page number showing on the events. So that was highly requested on here. Pretty soon you're also going to see the event name showing on there as well. But yeah, it's been a huge request. I'm so happy that we were able to get that release there. So that'll make it a lot more helpful whenever you're printing things off for you and your team. Um, the
And then
up
you will be able to see actually the event name. I think I was moving too fast when I showed it, but if they update that portal name, that'll pull in
oh
the event name.
oh
So
oh
if you
awesome.
want to add that, you could have extra information.
Yes. Let me see. Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, but this will be super helpful for you as you're kind of going through the flow. Moving out of the event, so I'll go ahead and move past these ones. The um, the next one I'm going to jump over to is going to be the prints. So I'm going to hop over to the prints really quickly. So I pulled up a print for just this event. So for that San Diego Event Center, that one that I was working on right there. Here's where you can see that timeline pop up. So I've got customer facing, and then I've got, these are customer facing, these are just internal. You can even choose on here, like if you don't want to show the public one, you just want to show customer facing, that's totally fine too. And it will show on the addresses on theirs as well. Okay. In the prints up here, you also have this capability. So if I click on print and I go up here, you will see the event name and the date of the event displayed up there as well. So that should also help with your prints so that, if you have 25 different events or whatever, you've got the names of those events that are showing on those prints. So if something happens to that paper, you can find them as well. Um, the other thing that's been updated here is you now have the capability, if I go down, under the component category, I'm sorry, under the component totals, this whole area right here under component totals, that's going to be this table that shows up down here at the bottom. We now have the ability to add some additional columns. So this is directly due to some feedback from customers. They were asking for more columns that are showing there. You can put the purchase unit cost, the quantity, and leftovers in category cost as well. You can put all of those items right here as well. I think that we do need to get some clarification on like quantity, on the purchase quantity, or like a unit. We need to get a unit on here. But this shows exactly how many that you buy at a time. For the allium, I buy 10 at a time. I know I'm going to have 8 leftovers right here. So that just gives you a little bit additional information of things that you can put. This is that category cost column right down here at the bottom. Okay. All right. Last thing, and then I'm going to take a look at the questions. Last thing that I'm going to show is going to be the shopping list. So I pulled up the shopping list for just this event, and this is a small update, but I feel like it is really helpful. If you like to have really, really long component names. I have seen some long component names. We now created the ability for those to wrap right here so that you're maintaining that column size and it's not totally distorting the columns that you're seeing here. So now I put an extra long column name right here, check before purchasing. I put that in here. You can see that that is wrapping down here. So you're not getting this super long item. Okay. Um, all right. Awesome. Mm. Okay, so I answered Amy's question. I'm going to go count back really quickly. Answered Sheila's question about the printing and then the headers. So that was asking about that. And then um, on the proposals and on the thing, it's going to be the date of the event. The date of the event is going to be there on that one. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and pass it to you, Brooklyn. I've got a few more to kind of to look at in here, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Let me reshare and then we're gonna dive into some template updates. Alrighty. Okay. So, some items that we touched a little bit about this last month, but we've made some extra content available. So when you go to your templates folder down here, this is regarding the shareable templates. So there is this little button over on the far right that says Explore Templates. So we've added payment templates, contract templates, and timeline templates. And so the shareable templates are just a space just to kind of enable users to access kind of pre-made templates to guide you all, on maybe some ideas that could be helpful to customize your workflow. You can now filter depending on if you want just a specific type of template. So if you want to just take a look at payments, contracts, timelines, and then we had emails, I believe, last month. So we have all four options now available. And then if you'd like to add those to your own library, you'll just click here and add it to your library. And then this template would be available for you just as any other template that you create. And then you can edit it and so forth. Especially note with the contracts, those templates are really just a guide. Make sure you're reviewing them and make sure they work for you and your business with a legal team. But they are going to just be kind of a starting point to get you guys started. Easy access there, just to add them to your own library of templates. So those are some updates to shareable templates. And then we also have some updates to email templates. You can now add images to your emails, and then those can be aligned. So a lot of folks might want to use this as like a logo. Others might have other use cases of wanting to add an image, maybe just to provide some additional branding. But you're going to be able to add that right next to the personalized drop down. There's this little photo icon. And when you click that, you can upload up to 5, but if you want to upload maybe like a logo, I can just add that. It'll pull in, and then it can really pull in anywhere. So I added it to the bottom, but if you want it in the middle of the content, that's fine. And then you can choose how you want this to be aligned. Do you want it centered? Do you want it, to the left, to the right? You get to pick. So you'll be able to add that there. And then if that's too large, you can kind of just squeeze it down to make it a little bit smaller to fit better as part of the email. So that is an update to your email templates with being able to upload and align an image. And then we've also made some other visibility kind of settings updates to order templates. So if you're using the orders within the workroom, you're probably familiar with being able to kind of set these settings around how the order appears, but we've brought this over into your order templates. So as you're creating these order templates, it can, mimic the same kind of styling that you would prefer for this particular order section. So you can add this in and then you can toggle on just like you can in the workroom. And then as you choose, these particular settings, and then you would add that to your order in the workroom, it would inherit these defaults the way that you have it set up here as a template. So just something to utilize if you do like to kind of, there's all kinds of ways people like to, show off their invoice, line items. So you can, toggle if you want it to be showing guest pricing. A lot of our caterers like that. If you want to show a section total rather than individual pricing, all sorts of ways that you can configure this. So just something to note there. If you enjoy using our templates, that's now available to you when you build out an order. And then we have some other updates to automations. Automations are going to be found in settings. And so there's a few that we've added here. So I'll click in. The first one is being able to remove an expiration date. Typically, a lot of folks like to remove that expiration date when their event hits the booked stage. But really, we kind of let you be in control of how you want that to operate. So when you go to add an automation, you can title it however you'd like. So maybe we want to say this is removing expiration date from event. We want to turn this on. You could add additional descriptions if you want, that's optional. But then the way that you're going to set this up is you're going to first click in and you're going to say when my event stage is updated to, and then you get to pick what stage it is. So it doesn't necessarily have to be booked. It can be any kind of stage that you want. Some folks, maybe they want it to be the expiration date to be removed once it's completed. But that is up to you on how you want that to be set up. And then the action here is to remove that expiration date, and then you just save it. And then that will now be a new automation for you to follow your events as those stages progress through your kind of pipeline and the way that you want that to work. So make sure you utilize that if that's something that you like to take advantage of having expiration dates and then removing that without having to manually do that. And another automation that we have is around more email focus, but you can now create an automation to send an email to your customer as an option. So maybe let's say we want to send email to customer when event is booked. So I could turn this on. I could set up my, the trigger is going to be again when the event stage has been updated to, in this instance, I want to select booked. And then instead of selecting the one that we just did, we're going to select send email notification. And this will prompt you to select a template. So I guess just as a note here, make sure you're utilizing your email template so that you have one to select once you get to this point. But this will allow you to select the email that you want. So maybe I have a, thank you after booking. So once my event has been booked, I want to send my customer a thank you note for booking us for our event. And then for the recipients, you can select, if you go down to the bottom, there is a project customer. You would select that as the option. And then it'll kind of give you a tiny preview of what that template is, but really you're going to edit and create that in the templates folder. And then you would just be able to save that as well. So just a way to automatically send a selected template to your client when the event hits whatever stage that you select with that automation. And then to go along with these automations, we've made an update that the automations are now going to log in your project history. So I believe this was the event that I set up this morning to have some automations on here. But when you go to your event overview and then you go to your activity log, yeah, here we go. You'll see we kind of made them a bit blue, and there's a little lightning bolt to let you know that that was an automated action. But these pieces are going to log under this activity among the other activity that is more manual within the event. But this is going to give you some insight. We can see here that I have the thank you for booking automation turned on. It sent my email, thank you for booking, to this particular customer. So just to give some extra clarity on that, those are happening. If you need to reflect back onto kind of what's been sent, it'll give you some insight into kind of what's been happening with this event here. So yeah, just some exciting updates around automations and utilizing those if you haven't already. They're a big help to save on time. And then I think that does it for the items I was going to share. And then I'll pass it back to Shannon to cover some other updates, it looks like, around reports.
Okay. Woo. It's a lot today.
Yeah, we had a lot of exciting
It's a
updates.
lot. I know it is good. It's all good, but it's
Hopefully
a lot.
everyone's staying along with us. I feel like I'm like rapid
What,
going
what,
through
what?
them like so fast, but
Oh, God.
luckily that it's being recorded. If you need a refresher, our CS team does a great job too with like putting together help articles
Help
and whatnot
articles.
that
Yeah,
you can refresh on.
got it. Yeah. Okay, so to kind of take us through the final journey, we did make some updates in reports. So on the reports tab, I just went down to reports, and on my events report, this is obviously just a test account, so we don't have a ton of events, but I just clicked generate to go ahead and pull that up. So there's a couple of updates here that have been really, really helpful, especially when it comes to maybe like your taxes and things like that. If you want to put like a time range, on the events report, we now have a taxable column. So it's going to pull up and say, okay, what is really all like your taxable revenue? You can see that right here. If you have some sort of tax applied to the line item, it's going to show you what is your taxable revenue there. The other thing that is new on this list, if I can get on over there, is going to be the total paid. So what is the total paid and then what is the balance due for that event, so that you can quickly at a glance see, okay, for these events in this time frame, which ones still have something that's due, about their event, or how much have they paid towards that event. You can see that from here on this events report right here. Okay. Another one that is exciting, many people have been waiting for it, is gratuity. So in the settings, if I go down to gratuity, you have the ability to toggle it on for a customer to allow gratuity on the final payment. So on their screen, they'll be able to say 15%, 20%, 25%, or do a custom on there, but that will apply it on that final payment in the system, and it will track it on your proposal as well whenever they do that. Just a note is you will need to be signed up for Curate payments or to Stripe in order for that to be possible in the system. We did have somebody ask about um, like passing on that percentage cost to your customer. If you did want to pass along those card fees, you likely want to use Curate payments. Definitely recommend. We don't have enough time to dig into it today, but we've got videos on it. But yeah, literally just click connect. If you have a Stripe account, enter your Stripe login. If you don't have a Stripe account, still just click connect. It'll take you maybe 5 minutes to get through it, but it's really fast. Immediately allows you to accept payments, and it applies that card fee every time so that your customer will cover that in the account. I just had somebody ping in about ACH. Same thing. It's in this Curate payments. Customers can pay via ACH. Customers can pay via card, and you can pass those fees along to your customers, so they're covering that one. So that would be through here with the ACH. That's right there. Okay. The other one that is a new one. So if I'm back in the settings and I'm on general, and I scroll down right here, if I go down to export, um, down here, we've had it before where you can do the product, you can do the components, you can do rentals. We just now added the ability to download your contacts to a CSV, which it is just in time for the holidays. We have a lot of people that love to send out cards from their business for the holidays. And this is just a quick way that you can download those contacts to a CSV file so that you have that listing of all of that data that you have in your account. So you can see that here if you go to your settings and the general tab, that's right there. Okay. Last thing for us to talk about is going to be this referral link that's right over here. So I kind of talked about this before. We've actually made it a lot easier for people to get your link for the account. So it does have I will say that this is very helpful for the people that you're sharing it with. So if you have somebody and they're talking about a software and you're saying, "Hey, heads up, I use Curate," and you want to do something nice for them. Maybe you don't want to do this. If you don't want to do something nice for them, don't share your link because they'll get 20% off. So if you don't want them to get 20% off, don't share your link with them. But there is a nice little kickback for you as well anytime that somebody signs up. So you give them a really nice discount, and then you also get a really nice thing for you as well. You can say Merry Christmas or whatever. You get happy holidays, you can get it. So if you're going to have that link over here, you can just click copy right there. That way it just makes it easy. Sometimes people like to share it on the social media as well. So if you, again, just copy that link, share it on your social media if you want to share that with somebody else that you may know. We do work with florists, caterers, venues, rental companies, planners, really kind of all of the above. Anybody that's in the event industry, we work with them. Okay, well, um, we do have we are already at time now. I see that we have a couple of questions. So maybe Brooklyn, if you want to take a couple of like screenshots or whatever of the questions so that we can make sure to follow up with them as well. But if you have asked a question and we haven't been able to answer it yet, feel free, we will take a picture of that and make sure that we have that so we can follow up with you as well. One last thing that I want to just point out is that um, this month we are launching. So today, this afternoon, after the webinar, we decided to do the post. We are launching what we call Level Up with Curate. It's a webinar education series. It is 5 weeks, so it is 5 sessions of webinars, and it is for everybody. Everybody would have a learning experience going through this webinar. We are going to dive deep into everything that is involved in Curate. To be honest, we're going to cover a lot. We probably still won't cover everything, but it is going to be a great series for really leveling up your capabilities, knowing what is possible in the system, why someone would want to use that feature, examples of situations. It, I would say bring your pencil and paper or bring your laptop or whatever. Obviously, you're going to bring your laptop, but bring whatever you would do to document notes because you will have some new things that you can figure out, new ways to manage your events, all of that stuff in that education series. I'm very excited about it. Keep an eye out for that post to come through. You can feel free to sign up, and you can even choose what weeks you want to sign up for if you don't want to sign up for all of them. But we're excited to get that launched. So, all right, we will send out a follow up email, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. We're so excited to work with everybody, and we'll see you next month. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.